Well, hey everyone, this is Kim at The Able Gardener, and The Able Gardener has bees. Now, this is something that I have been thinking about getting, that I wanted to get in my garden, or have in my garden. So I went across the street and I was talking to the wife of the beekeeper that lives over there. He's been keeping bees for 15 years. He's got them all over Northern California and into Nevada. So he has a really big operation, but they speak Spanish and I don't. Just between the two of us, I was telling her that I wanted to get some hives maybe, or I was thinking about getting some bees, but she really didn't understand me. She thought that I was coming over there because I wanted bees that day, or I wanted them as soon as possible. He speaks a little bit more English, and he said, yes, bees, I'm getting them for you. I have one box done. And I said, oh, you're getting bees for me? And he said, yes, I've got to get one more box and then I'll bring your bees over. So there we go. I've got bees. He goes, I said, I don't know if I want bees. I was just thinking about it. And he said, no, it's okay. It's okay. I bring them over, put them in your garden. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, demean the Spanish language. He said that he would bring them over, put them in my garden, and he would take care of them for me. So, what's better than that? So one night he knocks on the door and he's got these 2 beehives on a dolly. So he's bringing over the bees, some corn syrup for food, and a little tool to use to open up the hives, like a little chisel tool. He also gave me a smoker, and this is just your basic smoker. He gave me one of his used ones, and that's fine. I mean, if you're going to give me something, you can give me something used. It's got leather over here, and the leather is in good shape, and it just acts as a bellows for those of you who don't know anything about bees, like me. So I'm learning about bees really quick, how to start a smoker, because when he came over and gave me this stuff, he asked me if I knew how to start a smoker. And in the Spanish-English translation, I didn't know what he was saying, and I just said yes. And so I've learned how to start a smoker on my own. You can use various things in your smoker. He uses burlap, and what he uses is burlap, really thick burlap, and it's treated with something. Well, I didn't know that the burlap was treated with anything. I think it's something so that the burlap doesn't burn, but it keeps it smoldering. So we had a little accident here yesterday on the farm, and I had put too much burlap in the smoker, and I didn't want that much. So I took a piece out and tossed it over toward the shed. Well, the shed door was open, and there was more burlap sitting inside. Well, you can guess what happened. I mean, it was just an accident. It's something that anybody could have done, but that burlap kept smoldering, and it caught the other burlap on fire, and that was right next to my gardening cabinet. And my cabinet with all my gardening supplies, fertilizers, my gloves, my thermometers for the soil, pH meter for the soil, all that stuff that you can think of for your gardening was in that cabinet. And that cabinet is what caught on fire, and it just came down and just melted all of my gardening equipment. Everything, well, except for my tools that are in the shed back here. Anyway, let's get back to the beekeeping, because that was just a fiasco. I had to put the fire out and stop the camera, and I have it all on film, but I'm not going to show it to you guys. So I'm going to show you guys today how to start a bee smoker if you don't know how, or if you do know how, I'm just going to show you how I start mine now that I don't think I have any burlap left, and if I did, I wouldn't want to put it in on the smoker anyway, because I don't know what insecticides were on fire in there and happened to get smoke on, I just everything that was in the shed on fire I threw away, because I don't want to use any of that stuff on my bees and possibly be spraying them with something that is toxic. I don't want to kill the bees. So I'm going to take you over to the table and show you how I start my bee smoker with just some newspaper and some wood chips out of the garden. Okay, so here's my smoker, and I'll just show you real quick. I've got some newspaper just crumpled up, put in the bottom, and I do have a piece of burlap left over, and it was in the smoker, so it didn't get any kind of smoke from the fire or anything like that on it. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to put some wood chips on top of that. Now before I put too much in there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to light that newspaper. Now one nice thing about the bellows on the smoker is not only does it blow the smoke out at the bees, but you can also use it to get your smoker going. So you've got your newspaper, I've got a little bit of burlap left over, and now I'm going to put some wood chips or more wood chips on top. Now if you live in an area where you can find this kind of stuff, just little pieces of wood sitting on the ground, things like that, then that's what you can use to put in your smoker. So then you can put a little bit more of the wood chips in there and then close it up. So I'm going to get that smoker going and just let it sit there. Just move the bellows back and forth a little bit to get it going. Now if I do it too much or too hard, it's going to put the newspaper out. The fire on the newspaper will just go out. So I'm just going to do it a little bit just to get the wood chips on fire or to get them smoldering. Well, you've seen me start my smoker. Now what is the smoker for? The smoke that comes out of your smoker is to calm down the bees. It just puts them in a state of kind of lull, like they're sleepy. And it calms them down so that you can get in and check your beehive, check your bees. Now, if you have heat coming out of your smoker, you don't want to put that on your bees. And you can check it on the inside of your arm. This is a really tender part of your arm. Go ahead and check the smoke. If it's hot at all, don't spray it on your bees. But even back here, even about 6 inches away, I don't feel any heat at all. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to spray my bees. I'm not going to put a lot of smoke on them, just enough to calm them down. A little bit in the holes, a little bit in the bottom. And now I'm going to crack the top and spray a little bit up here in the top. And they are buzzing today. And they don't like that. They don't like being sprayed with smoke. Now for one thing, I have bees, some of my bees, they're everywhere. They're all out in the garden pollinating my flowers and doing things. So when they're coming back to the hive, they haven't been smoked yet. So anyway, like I said, a lot of these bees are coming back from the flowers and from the garden from probably a mile or two away. They haven't been smoked. They're coming back with their pollen, wanting to, get rid of it. So they haven't been smoked, and those that are coming back are kind of mad, They don't want you to get in their hive. But now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take one out, and I'm going to show you one of the frames and what the bees are doing on it. I doubt if we can see the queen because she's probably down here in the bottom. Now, these guys are working on all these hives in the middle here, and you see they haven't touched anything here. They're working their way out on this frame. And on the other side, they're doing the same thing. They're working their way from the middle out. Now, I'm even going to pull the next one because the next one looks even better. Now, I'm really careful in putting these frames back in, but like I said, with having 9 frames in there, it gives you a lot of room, and it gives the bees a lot of room, just to move around inside the hive. Sorry. I'm trying to think of words for what I'm doing here, and I just sucked in a bunch of smoke. So I wish I could pull the camera up. Maybe I can pull the camera over a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to be high enough to see in this top hive. The table's too tall, and if my hives were a little bit lower, then I could point the camera down at that. So I just brought you over a little bit closer so you can see this one hive that is really going crazy here. Now, the other reason he likes to put 9 frames. Oh, I don't want to squish you guys. I don't want to squish you. The other reason he likes to put 9 frames is so Well, like I said, so the bees have a lot of room. You can see this one in the middle. It's just really, they're really working on it. And this right here, oh, sorry, guy. These right here that are covered over, it's called, they're called capped. But you can see the honey that is right over here. Well, I hope you can see. I don't want to kill any of these guys because I want them to know that I'm friendly. You can see right in here the honey, and they're eating that honey because the food that they had sitting on the top of the box is gone. They ate it all, which was 3 liters, and now that's gone, and I'm not supposed to put any more on there. Armando wants me to let the bees eat the honey that's in here and not have any more corn syrup. Well, all the bees have left the lid because they were just sitting on there and they didn't know why they were on there. Now there are no bees on the top because I did smoke them, so they're not going to get smashed when I put this lid back on. And I can also show you now the little board that's on the top, and this is where we were feeding them with that 3-liter can. We just had a little hole in the lid, turned it upside down, and it just slowly fed them. But now they have honey to eat, and their honey that they make will be what they're eating all winter long. So anyway, I'm happy that I have bees in my garden. They're all over my zinnias, and there's another plant, I think it's Dusty Miller, that's blooming right now, and then there's a succulent that's blooming, and they really like that. They're just all over that succulent. But they're finding a lot right now, a lot of pollen out and around. We have a lot of orchards around here, but when the orchards are bare, when my garden isn't blooming anymore, then they're going to have their honey that they can eat through the winter time. And he's just going to keep an eye on that for me. And if they do need some supplemental food, some corn syrup, then he will bring that over and he'll put another canister of corn syrup on the top to get them fed so they can make it through the winter time. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys my bees, and I'm really happy that I have them. I don't know, it's just really nice having them here. Anyway, I could just sit here all day and just watch these guys, but I can't do that and make the video too long. Well, you guys, thanks for stopping by and seeing my bees. I'm glad you came by, and just happy gardening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, you guys.